My entire family was infected with COVID. We struggled to find an ambulance for 1.5 hours. That's when I knew tech had to solve this. Why can't we make an app where we can book an ambulance just like Ola or Uber? I realized coding just wasn't about screens. It could save lives. It all began with curiosity. Leadership isn't about perfection. It's about owning your work and bouncing back fast. If you're wondering how I turned my ideas into impact, follow Dreemen Team Talk Show. That's where the real stories unfold.
Welcome to Dreemen Talk Show, where we spotlight teens chasing big dreams and inspire you to do the same. And today, we are joined by Roshini Mitra, a computer science freshman and president of MossEx, CMO of Atomville, and researching futuristic tech that could change the world. From coding to leading AI innovations, Roshni's story will show teens how to turn passion into impact and give parents practical tips to support their kids. Let's dive in. How did you discover your passion for blending tech, leadership, and impact at such a young age?
So it all began with curiosity, taking apart gadgets, building things from scratch, or trying to see how tech really works. My first discovery was back in sixth grade when I came across the concept of a Tesla coil. A Tesla coil works on the principle of electromagnetic induction based on Faraday's law, and it had the ability to light up a bulb from a distance. That concept really intrigued me, and I dived deeper. And I thought to myself, why don't I build a generator which is very affordable for the people living below the poverty line so they can use it during power outages or just as an emergency backup? So this fueled me to make my first prototype, working prototype for my first entrepreneurial summit. But what made it meaningful was seeing how tech aligns with leadership. But so from there, I started seeking out projects where tech and leadership intersected, making meaningful impact.
Well, you said tech and leadership. Can you throw some light on it? Like for the teens out there, how does tech and leadership balance each other or complement each other?
They're they're obviously complementary. You need to possess leadership skills to drive yourself to make up your project. When you have an idea, it just does not come to life on its own. You need tech to drive that, and leadership skills to strategize on how you want to make your dream come into reality. And there you have it, you have solved your first problem.
That's so inspiring. And I'm sure your curiosity has shaped your journey. Because looking at Tesla coils in sixth or seventh grade, we just mugged it up and just right. We wrote it in the exams. But you created something out of it. So, what was the defining moment or influence, or maybe a person, event, or a tech challenge or something that has pushed your computer science journey and innovation much forward?
Okay, so one moment that stands out was during COVID 19, and I was just 16 back then. Unfortunately, my entire family was infected with the virus, and we struggled to find an ambulance for like an hour and a half, but we did not get one. And that was the moment when it struck me. Why can't we make an app where we can book an ambulance just like we book cabs in our daily lives through Ola or Uber? Why should the patient call the hospital first, then the hospital connects with the ambulance operator, and then they get your pickup address, and then the ambulance comes? During that process, the ambulance can get double booked as well, and that's the case where you don't find an ambulance. It is a very time consuming process, especially when the matter is about life or death. Instead, why don't we streamline the process with a simple app on the ambulance operator's phone? The patient puts their pickup location, and many ambulances around that locality get the location, and you get connected with your nearest ambulance within like 10 to 15 minutes. So while trying to acquire the right skills to build the app, I realized that coding wasn't just about screens. It could solve problems in my own community, and that was very empowering, and it pushed me to dive deeper into innovation and tech.
Wonder, I've never thought it like that because when it is a matter of life and death, every minute is crucial. And getting
Exactly.
an ambulance is a time daunting task. And sometimes our loved ones, they're just lying there and we're just waiting for the ambulance. It never comes. I had such experiences in my personal life also because ambulance didn't come in time. A dear one died and we were just watching there. So have you created that app?
Unfortunately, I was able to because I did not possess the required skills back then because I had to dive deeper and I did not have the necessary supervision for it. But right now, I am creating certain help me give back to my community because this app might not be like efficient right now, but there are other apps out there. Sure, it might target the same problem.
I'm sure it's a very important app. You should continue working on it. But it's also interesting to see how you are weaving creativity into the tech world. I also came to know that you are a national level Bharatnatyam dancer. So, how do you balance your creative and athletic side with your intense tech and leadership roles?
So, dance and athletics have always been my constants. They help me recharge and also stay grounded. Bharatnatyam, in particular, instills discipline, while sports push me to my mental limits. So, I do not see them any separate from tech, but as complementary. Time management and constant reminder of why I do what I do really helps. And that is the same mindset I use to develop my leadership skills. I personally believe that when you love multiple things, balance isn't about perfection, it's about presence.
That's excellent. In athletics, what's your favorite sport?
So,
Ooh.
most of my teenage years, early teenage years, I have been doing taekwondo, but I have also been involved in track running as well. So, those two were my constants throughout my high school journey.
I'm sure you're a very strong person, physically, mentally, and emotionally too.
I mean, self defense is really required for women, especially. So,
And
taekwondo, yeah.
you're also president of MossEx, tackling environmental challenges with AI. Can you share a specific project that you are excited about and how teens can get involved in solving real world problems with tech?
Okay, so one project I'm excited about is our AI powered MOS based air purification system. So, as the president of MossEx, I played a key role in establishing effective communication between the software and the hardware teams, which ensured the smooth integration between the AI models and the physical purification units. So, this connectivity is what allows the system to adapt in real time pollution levels today. So, for teens eager to solve real world problems, this project is a great example of how collaboration across different disciplines like coding or hardware can lead to meaningful innovation. So, I believe that whether you're a programmer or a designer or just passionate about innovation and change making, there's a space for you in the tech industry and tech driven solutions.
You have also done some meaningful work with SERAP. It's a non-profit for mental health. What's a key lesson you learned about using marketing to drive a social change? And how can teens start advocacy projects in their communities?
So I learned that authenticity builds trust. Teens don't want to be talked at, they want to feel seen. So we created campaigns that were raw, honest, and deeply personal. So if you want to start a project, begin by listening to your peers, to your community. Advocacy starts with empathy, and from there, you have readily available tools like social media to drive your message.
That's definitely true. If you have social media, you have all the weapons you need.
Yeah.
Your research with Akshay Khatarpal on biological vascular networks for neuromorphic computing. It sounds complicated, technical, and very futuristic. Can you explain in simple terms what this means and why is it exciting for the future of technology?
Okay, so I'm going to start with what neuromorphic computing is. So, neuromorphic computing mimics how the human brain processes information efficiently and adaptively. So, our research looks at biological vascular networks, that is, of plants. We've learned about xylem and phloem in
Yes.
fifth grade. That's basically what biological vascular networks are, and how they can inspire better chip designs. So, our brains demonstrate energy efficiency. But did you know that our human brain processes over 100 times the 100 times information without emanating heat, whereas an AI system generates significant amount of heat and energy to process little data sets? So our research aims to solve that problem. And this could mean major leaps for AI in health, robotics, or even energy efficiency.
Wow. You are doing very important work. What has been your biggest challenge so far, like the research part and the final part? What's the biggest challenge you are facing currently in this research?
It's not just the research in like particular, but in general, the key challenge is about fear of failure. So in research, while you're experimenting and while you're trying in new different ways, or the fear of becoming the laughing stock in your social circle, the fear of being judged just because you think differently than your fellow peers. But the real thing is, there is nothing like failure or such fear. So I take failure as feedback. There's nothing called setback. It's about resilience. And I've always believed in bouncing back, taking lessons as I go, and becoming a better version of myself at every step. Leadership is about trying out different things without a fear of setback. My motto in life is simple: fail fast, change fast, and learn faster.
That is true. If you have to fail, fail fast. Then gear
Yes.
up, learn and stand up
Gear
again.
up
Start
and
again.
then bounce back harder.
Start again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the teens your age, they're worried about what their peers will say.
Yeah. So you shouldn't listen to your peer pressure. It's personal to you. You're doing it for yourself, not for them and not to please them. It's about your personal growth. So I don't think you should like pay attention to, even if people are talking, you shouldn't pay attention because it's personal to you. Your growth is for you, not for them.
I have one more question. Why do teens care so much about what their peers will say?
It's a part of growing up. Like, it's like you have instilled that mentality, like, oh no, what if someone thinks differently about me? No, I have to be perfect. Yeah, you do need to be perfect, but someone can't just be born perfect. You have to like take small steps to like reach your goal or even perfection. So yeah, teenagers do think a lot. I term the vocabulary as overthinking, but that has to be a hurdle in anything you do in life. So, what I have learned after all my experiences, I almost leaving my teenage age as I'm 19. So, next year I'm not going to be a teen anymore. So, what I've learned is just don't care about what your fellow peers think. It's the growth is permanent. You make friends as you go. You see who's real, who's not. So just do what you're doing.
So I'm also curious about there are so many teens who are currently intimidated by AI and computer and coding. They're also thinking, should I learn AI? But what if I learn AI? I have to do a lot of coding. So, what's the one small step they can take to get started, and how can parents support them?
Yeah. So AI and computer science aren't intimidating at all, because at the end of the day humans build AI and computer systems. So my recommendation is start with something fun, a beginner friendly coding course or a robotics kit. My first robotics kit was Arduino Uno, and I have spent my entire teenage years just making up projects on Arduino Uno. So my first project was making a doorbell for the disabled using IR sensor. So it can sense a person in front of the door and ring the bell automatically. So you can even use that when your hands are full with groceries and you have to like ring the bell with your nose. I have done
That's
that.
very having
Yeah, I have
having
done
so
that
much to do with
personally.
the moon.
Yeah. So, for parents, the best support is encouragement. Let your teens explore tech without pressure. Be curious with them, and that's what is that's what tech is all about, and it makes all the difference.
It's such wise words coming from a 19-year-old. You have taken on multiple leadership roles, being president, doing social media marketing for nonprofits, having your own venture. What's the one skill or mindset that every teen should develop or adapt to become a leader in their own chosen field, whether it's tech or something else?
Okay, so I'd say it's ownership. Whether you're leading a project or learning a new skill, take responsibility for your growth. Leaders aren't perfect, they are just consistent. So when you own your work and your mistakes, people trust you. Combine that with empathy, and I believe that you're already a leader in any field.
Definitely. They're very wise words. I think the teens out there listen to her. Parents are also often worried about their teens balancing different goals, especially in 10th and 12th. We don't let our teens do much. We don't even let them do any homework. They cannot even help us. Go study. Go study. We are trying to be very supportive.
Yes.
You just go and be with your books. From your experience, what's the one thing that parents can do to help their teens without overwhelming them, without them feeling burnout, or without over patronizing?
So I have faced the same problem. My father was just like, study this, these are your crucial years. And I believe that he is right about that as well. But extracurriculars and your interests are equally important. So my advice to the parents out there, one of the best things parents can do is trust the process. Even when things look messy. Teens nowadays are juggling a lot, like their school, their side hustles, their extracurriculars, and even in some cases, their own startups. And yes, it is honestly overwhelming and it can look so too. But what really helps is when parents focus less on like perfect results and more on emotional support. Sometimes just knowing that you believe in us even when we mess up is the biggest motivator. Ask us how we're feeling at what we're doing, just not how we're performing. Encourage breaks and not burnout. That is very crucial. And most importantly, parents should remind us that our worth is not tied up to a single piece of paper known as a resume. It is important, but it is not entirely our existence. So teenagers thrive in a space where we feel safe to fail, explore, and grow at our own pace.
That's true. Everybody has a different speed. We can't compare one with another. That's really, really nice.
Exactly.
It's a great advice.
Thank you.
Roshini, you are working also? You are a freshman in college and you are working also?
Yes, I'm a freshman in college.
How do you balance that? Do you have a full time college and then you go for work also?
I do not go for work. It's over Meet. It's not like on site.
Okay.
So the people I'm working with are in the same college as me. So it's like you meet them at a cafe. We have this place called DC Cafe. So we just meet there for a coffee and we discuss like what needs to be done and like deadlines. So these weekly meets really help us like jumpstart our projects and like keep a tab on like what we are doing and our progress and
It's like very informal way of working. You don't need an office.
No, we don't need
You'll
an
meet
office.
assign
After all,
roles.
we're just college freshmen, right?
You assign roles, then you do it at your own pace. Then you meet again. This is
Yeah,
how
we
it's
have a
like that.
deadline and we strictly like adhere to the deadline. There's no budging on the deadline, and I believe you should stay on the deadline to stay on track. Otherwise, you need to push deadlines, which
So
is not the way I like to work.
definitely. You're a very tight leader. You will not let that happen.
No, deadlines are mandatory.
So let's have some fun with rapid fire round. No thinking, no overthinking, just whatever comes to your mind, answer. There might be some surprise questions too.
Okay.
So, what's the one app or tool you cannot live without?
I'd have to say Notion. It's like my second brain. It helps me stay organized. And as I said, deadlines are very important to me. So I categorize my tasks into priority lists.
If you could have any tech innovator, past or present, mentor you, who would it be?
I'd say it's Reshma Sojani. She's the founder of Girls Who Code. So her mission is to close the gender gap in tech. So I'd love to learn how she balances activism and innovation and how she keeps pushing her boundaries and deeply staying connected to her why and like why she started, why she's doing what she does.
What's the one quirky habit that you have picked up from late night, whether it's homework, coding session, or experimenting, creating a startup?
Okay, so I've developed a ritual of coding with slow music in my background. That really helps me to focus. And also a cup of cold coffee, which ironically I never finish. So it just sits there like my silent partner in crime. So it's like unfinished code on one side and unfinished glass of cold coffee on the other.
So, what's your favorite programming language?
I would say it's C++ because it has challenged me a lot.
So, one thing that you would do if you knew you would not fail.
I would like to build an AI related friend because growing up teens are very confused about like who's real and who's not, and an AI won't have that side of fakeness or like backstabbing, and there's no teenage drama with.
And what would you do if you had all the money in the world?
If I had all the money in the world, first, I would like to fund and open a trust where like we can educate the underprivileged where because these kids are the future of India obviously. So I want to foster young minds and just innovate with them, like learn their
All the
side.
money.
All the money in the world it's gonna go
You will
into
spend them. You will spend all the money of the world in education only.
education, some on shopping because I'm a girl at the end of the day. So a bit on personal stuff and yeah, other for the development of the nation because there's nothing more important than that.
So the last question is: if you could design an AI to solve the world problem, what would it be?
Again, the mental fostering student mental health, which is what I am working on with Mendley. So I would use an AI chatbot which can empathize.
So is this your big project for 2025?
Yes, scaling up Mendley is definitely my big project because it is going to be a lot because I'm going to be entering my third semester, which is known as the deadly semester to engineering students. So it's going to be hard in like balancing my academic life and building Mendeley at the same time because Mendeley has a lot of features which I need to implement because the competition which I'm dealing with, they're also high because there are many mental health apps out there, but the USP should stand, which is like the unique selling property. So I need to work on Mendeley and just build it because teenagers out there really need it.
Are you building Mendeley alone or are you collaborating with someone?
Right now, it's me only because it is in its R&D phase, but surely I will be making a team for different domains as well. Like there's marketing, there's
Quicker when there is a team.
yeah, I need to make the team right now.
Wow, Roshni, you have blown us away with your passion and wisdom. Thank you for inspiring our teens to dream big and giving big ideas to parents on how to support them.
Thank you so much.
To our listeners, what tech project would you love to start? Drop in the comments on YouTube or tag us on Instagram. Don't miss our next episode. Hit that subscribe button now. You are watching Dreemen's Teen Talk Show. Keep dreaming, keep creating.